Hey everyone, my name is Chris Green and I am not a good singer, but in today's video, I want to push Melodyne, which is a pitch correction software. I want to push it to the limits to find out, can I sound just like Bruno Mars and Justin Timberlake? Because if we're honest, when we're thinking about Autotune or somebody that got pitch corrected, the assumption is, yeah, like with pitch correction, you can make anybody sound like Bruno Mars. So I'm going to try and do that today. So here on the screen, I have PreSonus Studio One. This is the software I use to record different tracks of music. So I'm gonna use this microphone here. I've already recorded some acoustic guitar, just playing a loop over and over again. And the first thing I wanna do is sing monotone. Monotone is just singing one note over and over and over again. And I wanna use pitch correction to see if we can do something with a monotone voice. Let's give it a try. All right, so on the screen in the top bar, the top yellow bar is the acoustic. I'll change vocal to something like red so we know which one's which. If I right click this audio, which is me singing Oz, I go to edit with Melodyne. So Melodyne is going to analyze my pitches, which should have been monotone, but I couldn't even sing it in monotone. Now the fun part is if I highlight all of these notes and I go here to pitch center, watch what happens as I align all these notes. I snap them to the grid. Boom. Now everything is snapped to the same line. So now we've got a track in Melodyne that has been pitch corrected to just straight monotone. Here's what that sounds like. Now here's the magic of Melodyne. So I'm gonna take what's called the pitch tool right here. I can click any of these little blobs, which are basically words or phrases, whatever. I can click these and I can change the note that you're actually hearing. So instead of hearing this G, I want this to be an A. I want this to be a C. I want this one to be a D. I'm gonna go back to G, then F sharp. Let's just move all these notes around and let's see if I can get some runs out of this. You can probably hear as I'm manipulating, it sounds pretty silly. So now I've got some wild pitches. Again, I haven't done any extra recording. I literally just took a monotone track and I've moved all the pitches around. Let's take a listen to this composition, which is probably gonna win me some awards. Here we go. Now that was all from just me singing a G over and over and over again. So imagine this. Now imagine you're taking my voice and you're putting words to it. You're actually like trying to sing passages and stuff. Let's see what we can do with Melodyne, because you see something like that and you instantly think everyone out there, the Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlakes of the world, they must just be doing this the whole time. What if they're just singing monotone? I don't think that's the case. I genuinely, just to let the cat out of the bag, I think that Autotune and Melodyne, they are gonna substantially make you more accurate when it comes to your singing, but still not gonna change your voice. That still sounds like me, it sounds like my tone. So whereas pitch correction can make you more accurate, if you're depending on it to just give you some radically new voice, I still don't sound like Justin Timberlake just yet. But maybe if I put words, maybe if I put phrases to it, like hit the subscribe button, maybe that will sound better. So let's record another take. This time I am gonna try to sing some phrases with notes and we'll tune it from there.
If you would please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. If you don't hit subscribe, I would cry. I would cry so much because you didn't hit subscribe.
That was cool. So again, I'm gonna right click this area here. I'm gonna click edit with Melodyne. Let's let it check the pitches. And now that I've actually been singing certain notes and things, we can see that for the most part, we'll see how egregious some of these moves are. I've got some notes up here that are closer to F than they are E. And I believe this whole song I'm playing on the acoustic guitar is E minor, C, G, and D. So basically in the key of like G major. So that F note probably needs to be shifted down. Sure, there's even more, but let's take a listen to this without any pitch correction, and then we're going to add pitch correction, and you'll see on the screen which ones have been corrected and which ones haven't, so I won't be talking in between. Here we go.
If you would please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. If you don't hit subscribe, I would cry. I would cry so much because you didn't hit subscribe. You would please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. If you don't hit subscribe, I would cry. I would cry so much because you didn't hit subscribe.
If you didn't think Melodyne was crazy enough, if I go back to the monotone track that we originally had, let's remove all of this Melodyne so it goes right back to being monotone. And then I'm going to add Melodyne, but this time, instead of it being monotone or instead of it being random, I can actually use Melodyne to create harmony for myself. So if you're somebody that doesn't know how to sing background vocals, if you don't know how to sing harmony, well, you could sing a monotone track and blend it in with the original, and it should sound pretty decent. Let's try and do that.
If you would please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. Would please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next. Please just hit subscribe. Please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. If you don't hit subscribe, I cry. I cry so much because you didn't hit subscribe. Please just hit subscribe. It's the button that's next to like. If you don't hit subscribe, I would cry.
Couple things to note, if you're looking to get into Autotune or pitch correction, Autotune from Universal Audio is currently not available natively. So I used to have an audio interface from UAD. You have to use their specific chipset. So if you don't have any of their satellite stuff or you don't have one of their interfaces, you're not gonna be able to run Autotune. Not yet. They have been releasing their plugins natively, which I'm waiting for. Melodyne is a little bit more involved, so you do need to watch a few tutorials, learn how to use the pitch correction stuff so that you know like what key you're in. It's a little bit more involved because you're manipulating note by note rather than just set it and forget it. So those are the two options that I know of right now. The other thing is just the takeaway. So Melodyne, I don't think we need to be freaking out too much about Autotune because the truth is, Autotune is all around us. I've been listening to, I was at the gym the other day and I heard a song from Taran Wells. I believe his name's Taran Wells. It's called The Hills and Valleys. And when you listen to it, he literally sounds like Bruno Mars. I didn't for a second think to myself, well, he's tuning his vocals, so he's not actually that good. No, he's doing runs and he's singing in such a way that even if he's getting pitch correction along the way, it's not something that I'm capable of doing. So you're not just gonna jump off your couch and all of a sudden be Bruno Mars or Justin Timberlake. You're still gonna need creativity to know what notes you need to go to, and you need to, for the most part, be as close as possible. I think most of the singers out there are probably 80 to 90% as good as what we think they are, but when you're listening to people on the radio or even programs like The Voice, Autotune is all around us. So we can't avoid Autotune, we can't avoid pitch correction. It's nice to know how to use it, especially to use it in creative ways. But of course, if you're, kind of like me, I like recording a lot of stuff naturally, and I like trying to get it as good as it can possibly be on the way in. Don't use pitch correction to cut corners. The best thing you do is that if you want to be a singer and you want to be somebody like Bruno Mars and Beyonce, well, you can put in some practice, and then the pitch correction will kind of be sprinkles on the cupcake. So that's all I have to say about that. Let me know what you think. Obviously, pitch correction has come a long way, and I'm sure there's going to be more advances in the future that we're just not prepared for. Hope that's opened up your eyes a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you'll consider hitting like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.